Dust rises as the honey badger suddenly charges forward. It does not have a massive body, yet it carries the fearless confidence of a relentless survivor. Facing resistant prey, it lowers its body and shifts direction again and again. Even when other predators move in close, it rarely loses control of the encounter. So what has made the honey badger one of the toughest animals in the wild? The swamp is crocodile territory, where water and mud turn them into formidable ambush predators. In large individuals, bite force can reach around 3,700 pounds per square inch, but the honey badger does not seek confrontations with full-grown crocodiles. Instead, it targets a safer opportunity: young crocodiles under 3 feet long that occasionally wander away from the water's edge. From the edge of the brush, the honey badger keeps its distance, watching the direction of the reptile's head and every movement it makes. It does not rush into chaos. Instead, it waits for the moment when the young crocodile loses its advantage in positioning. When the opportunity appears, the honey badger bursts forward, moves in from the side, and uses its powerful jaws to gain control quickly. This hard-earned meal can provide enough energy for the honey badger to go many days without needing to hunt again. In the wild, snakes are predators built for lightning-fast strikes. Their limbless bodies, ability to sense vibrations, and rapid reflexes allow them to move in almost complete silence. Many species also carry powerful venom capable of disrupting the nervous system within moments. Some spitting cobras can spray venom nearly 6.5 feet, turning safe distance into a fragile illusion. Yet the honey badger has developed a way to face this danger. Under the scorching heat of the Kalahari, it tracks prey across thorny brush and burning sand. Its most common rivals are puff adders and spitting cobras, species many animals avoid entirely. The honey badger lowers its body, changes direction repeatedly, then moves toward the head to gain control of the encounter. In other situations, a defensive strike may leave it inactive for nearly 2 hours. What makes this remarkable is a nicotinic acetylcholine receptor that has evolved to reduce the venom's effect on the nervous system. After recovering, the honey badger rises again and continues hunting with astonishing persistence. The savanna leaves no room for reckless courage. The honey badger's resilience is not a miracle, but an adaptation shaped through countless moments of survival. Across the savanna, the spotted hyena is an opportunistic predator known for remarkable endurance and a complex social structure. It coordinates through calls, scent signals, and movement, turning each individual into part of a system built to apply pressure. With a bite force of around 1,100 pounds per square inch, the hyena is powerful enough to make many large animals stay cautious. But can a solitary animal disrupt that advantage? When 3 hyenas spot a honey badger crossing open ground, they immediately begin closing the distance. One approaches head-on, while the other 2 spread to the sides, attempting to cut off every escape route for the smaller animal. But the honey badger does not freeze. It spins constantly, gives sharp warning signals, then suddenly charges toward the closest attacker. The tension rises quickly. Each time a hyena moves closer, the honey badger changes angle and pressures the encounter at close range, forcing its opponents to pull back and keep a safer distance. That relentless aggression disrupts a hunting strategy built on numbers and psychological pressure. In the end, the circle breaks apart. The African rock python is one of the largest snakes in the world. Large individuals can exceed 20 feet, with muscular bodies and constricting power that make many animals keep their distance. It hunts by staying hidden, sensing vibrations, and moving in when a target enters the danger zone. Without venom, the python uses curved teeth, powerful coils, and mechanical pressure to control its prey. For the honey badger, this is not just a large prey animal, but an opponent that can reverse the entire situation. After following a scent trail around the bushes, the honey badger detects the python and immediately moves in. But with just one opening, the python's coils lock around its small body. At that moment, its thick, tough, and loose skin becomes a survival advantage under intense pressure. When a jackal appears and distracts the python, the honey badger uses the opening, twists nearly 180 degrees inside its own skin, and escapes the hold. Within moments, the tightening trap is broken from the inside. In nature, strength does not always belong to the larger animal. Sometimes the instinct to adapt is what decides the chance to survive. Across the dry savanna, a beehive is more than a rare source of sweetness. For the honey badger, it is an energy reserve that helps shape the rhythm of an entire day. It does not search for honey by chance. The scent of wax, hollow trees, old rock crevices, and familiar mounds are stored like a silent map in its memory. As evening approaches, the honey badger begins moving toward the hive. A large hive can hold more than 10 pounds of honey, enough to make the effort worthwhile. Using powerful claws, it opens a small entrance and quickly reaches the honeycomb. The bees surge out like an angry cloud, filling the dark space with dense buzzing and painful stings. But skin nearly 0.25 inches thick, along with coarse fur, allows the honey badger to keep moving steadily. Even while surrounded by the swarm, the honey badger calmly continues feeding on its protein-rich meal. In nature, the ability to endure discomfort is sometimes the key to claiming its most valuable rewards. Very few animals remain still when an adult male lion moves in close. Across the African grasslands, the king of the savanna carries the power of an apex predator, making the entire landscape feel tense. Weighing around 420 pounds, each step is enough to force smaller animals to retreat. But the honey badger breaks that pattern. Instead of running, it turns and faces the threat directly. As the distance between them narrows to only a few feet, the atmosphere shifts into a tense psychological standoff. The lion senses its dominance being challenged. It moves forward little by little, turning the encounter into a prolonged pursuit between a powerful predator and a much smaller animal that refuses to back down. The honey badger does not react with loud aggression. It pivots constantly, raises its fur, and releases a strong defensive scent, making every close approach uncomfortable for the lion. As the confrontation drags on, the larger predator slowly loses its advantage. After more than 1 hour of exhausting pursuit, the lion finally stops and walks away, leaving the smaller animal to continue on its path with an unshaken stare. In the wild, courage is not the absence of danger. It is the ability to stand firm even when danger is already standing face to face. The savanna is filled with uneven confrontations, where the honey badger turns physical limitations into survival advantages. When facing an African elephant weighing nearly 13,000 pounds, it cannot compete through raw strength. Instead, the small animal constantly moves around the legs, creating pressure and forcing the giant to watch every step carefully. When confronting a South African oryx with horns reaching 47 inches, the honey badger still refuses to back away. Even after being thrown aside, its low, agile body and thick, loose skin allow it to regain balance almost immediately. It quickly turns back into a defensive stance, as if it had never been overpowered at all. The confrontation does not need to end in violence. The honey badger does not prevail through strength, but by making larger opponents realize that continuing the encounter is simply not worth the cost. When prey becomes scarce, ostrich eggs become a rich source of energy that most predators cannot fully access. Each egg weighs nearly 3 pounds and has one of the thickest, toughest shells in nature. Breaking it through strength alone is nearly impossible. So many predators eventually give up. But for the honey badger, it remains a valuable reward worth pursuing. Instead of wasting energy, the honey badger rolls the smooth egg away from the nest toward rocks and hard tree roots. Every impact is a calculated attempt to create a small crack in the shell. Persistence becomes the key to unlocking this valuable source of nutrition, proving that intelligence, observation, and relentless determination can sometimes turn the impossible into a meal. African wild dogs begin the hunt with relentless bursts of speed. They spread their formation, divide directions, and force the prey to lose rhythm. When danger moves closer, the entire pack instantly shifts into defense. That discipline is what turns them into master hunters of the grasslands. So what happens when the entire pack locks onto a single target? During the Great Migration, thousands of hoofed animals create a living wave across the savanna. Among them, the wildebeest stands out with a weight of around 600 pounds, curved horns, and powerful legs that make many predators hesitate. But across the open grasslands, African wild dogs remain willing to challenge prey several times larger than themselves. Rather than overpowering through size, the wild dog pack relies on endurance and disciplined formation. Once a target becomes separated from the herd, the pack quickly spreads out, with each individual holding a specific position to turn the open space ahead into an increasingly narrow escape route. This is not simply a race of speed, but a contest of endurance and will. Under the dry heat of the savanna, even a wildebeest gradually loses rhythm after repeated bursts of speed. Meanwhile, wild dogs, with their long legs, deep chests, and exceptional stamina, can maintain speeds close to 30 miles per hour across long distances. With every relentless stride, the prey's advantage in strength slowly begins to fade. With hunting success rates approaching 80% in some encounters, wild dogs have become a symbol of pack strategy. They help maintain the balance of hoofed animal populations across the grasslands. In the harsh, natural world, discipline can sometimes be stronger than solitary power. In Africa, rivers do not simply bring water to the grasslands. They also create harsh boundaries of survival. Beneath the murky surface, the Nile crocodile can grow beyond 12 feet in length, with a bite force of nearly 3,700 pounds per square inch, and the patience to remain almost completely motionless. For wild dogs, danger often appears after a long pursuit. When prey rushes toward shallow water in search of escape, the pack must slow down, spread out, and quickly read every movement along the river's surface. They are intelligent enough to understand that only a few extra steps could erase every advantage they hold on land. At times, mistakes emerge during moments that seem completely ordinary. A weaker wild dog approaches the water's edge after an exhausting chase. The river appears calm. Soft mud conceals every sign beneath the surface. Then suddenly, the water shifts, breaking the silence in an instant. The pack immediately signals danger, creating an opening to help the individual near the shoreline retreat from the threat. Where dry land meets deep water, survival is not defined by reckless advances, but by the ability to recognize limits. Even master hunters like wild dogs can make mistakes, turning from predator into prey within moments. If wild dogs represent relentless coordination, then lions stand as symbols of power, muscle, and territorial dominance. Both hold high positions in the predator hierarchy, but when they share the same food sources and living space, conflict becomes almost unavoidable. An adult male lion often weighs more than 400 pounds, carrying a heavy mane, massive shoulders, and a presence that changes the rhythm of the grasslands with every step. While patrolling its territory, it may spot a pack of wild dogs resting near low brush. Within seconds, the calm disappears. The pack quickly scatters, especially when younger individuals are not fast enough to keep pace. Under that pressure, wild dogs rarely choose direct confrontation and instead retreat toward safer ground. But if the pack encounters a lone lioness searching for food, the situation can change. The wild dogs rapidly regroup, circle around the opponent, and create pressure through numbers and movement. The standoff may continue for an extended period, forcing the lioness to remain near open ground or close to water, where movement is easier. Even so, wild dogs understand that lions are not rivals easily overcome. After every successful hunt, the pack often eats quickly and leaves early, because the moment a lion appears, the hard-earned reward can disappear within seconds. In nature, discipline helps ensure survival, but awareness is what protects the future. The leopard is a predator that survives through silence. Across the African grasslands, it does not rely on a pack to endure. Instead, it depends on camouflage, explosive strength, and movements so quiet they are almost impossible to hear. An adult can weigh around 130 pounds, strong enough to carry its meal into a tree and avoid most competitors on the ground. But after a successful hunt, that silence rarely lasts for long. As the scent of food drifts through the wind, a pack of wild dogs quickly becomes interested. Each individual may be less powerful than a leopard in a one-on-one encounter, but together they possess a far more intimidating advantage: numbers, discipline, and pressure from multiple directions. Rather than risking a direct confrontation, the leopard leaves the ground behind and climbs nearly 15 feet into the branches to maintain a safer distance. Below, the wild dogs control the situation through collective strength. In nature, retreating at the right moment can sometimes become the quietest form of victory. Across Africa, wild dogs maintain a diverse hunting pattern, targeting many medium to large antelope species such as impala, bushbuck, and waterbuck. In many regions, impala often stand out as a key prey species because they are numerous, move in large herds, and frequently appear across open grasslands. But they are not easy targets. With agile legs that can leap nearly 30 feet, impala turn every chase into a true test of speed and strategy. When the leading wild dog gives the signal, the pack formation quickly spreads wide. One group circles ahead to cut off the impala herd's escape route, while the others keep pace from behind, applying pressure to the individual separated from the formation. Under that steady endurance, the target is gradually pushed toward rough ground near the wetlands, where speed is no longer an absolute advantage. This strategy can also place bushbuck at risk when they leave the cover along riverbanks. These alert antelope can slip quickly through dense brush, but once they are boxed in between several angles of approach, their survival space narrows very quickly. At times, instinct drives the prey toward the river in search of one final chance. But at the water's edge, even determined resistance only wins back a small opening. The balance shifts when another predator waits silently beneath the surface. Even so, it is the ability to wear down a running rhythm through constant pressure that builds the wild dog's reputation. In a harsh, natural world, coordination can sometimes be stronger than any solitary muscle. In the wild, the warthog is far from an easy target. An adult can weigh around 200 pounds, with strong legs, quick reflexes, and the ability to change direction suddenly during a chase. Its curved tusks, reaching nearly 10 inches in length, form a formidable defense that can make even predators like leopards keep their distance. For wild dogs, this challenge is not solved through raw strength. They do not rush directly into danger. Instead, the pack spreads out to control the warthog's movement. Some individuals stay behind the target, while others circle to the sides, forcing the warthog to constantly change direction across uneven ground. As the pursuit continues, endurance begins to make the difference. Wild dogs can maintain speeds close to 30 miles per hour, applying constant pressure without engaging head-on. Each time the warthog turns to defend itself, the pack pulls back briefly, then quickly closes formation again when another opening appears. Across the harsh grasslands, victory does not belong only to sharp weapons. but also to the discipline of waiting for the right moment. The African wild dog, or Lycaon pictus, is one of the most skilled pack hunters of the grasslands. Although weighing only around 80 pounds, these animals possess remarkable endurance and the ability to maintain long-distance pursuit. Their patterned coats help each individual blend into dry grass and shifting sunlight. When the hunt begins, the entire pack moves with the coordination of a single body. Their strength does not come from size, but from pack discipline. The confrontation fades, but the mark left by the honey badger still lingers across the dry land. It proves that survival doesn't belong only to those with obvious advantages. Sometimes, relentless determination alone can change the entire balance of a struggle. In the wild, the most unforgettable survivors are the ones that defend their chance to endure. If you want to witness more incredible wildlife encounters, be sure to like and subscribe today.